Hello and welcome. As we gear up for the first India AI Summit starting next week, we bring you this special show on India's AI moment. Artificial intelligence is reshaping the tech landscape at unprecedented speed, forcing companies to rethink their products, operations, and long-term strategies. The debate over whether AI will take our jobs is driven by both excitement and concerns. Supporters argue that AI can automate repetitive tasks, boost efficiency, and create entirely new categories as much like past technological renovations did. But critics, however, worry that rapid automation could replace many roles faster than new ones are created. Leaving workers unprepared for the shift, AI won't just knock on the door of the job market, it may kick it open. The real question isn't will AI take jobs, but which jobs will evolve and how fast workers can adapt. In the end, AI isn't an enemy, stagnation is. And as AI reshapes industries and debate over the jobs and productivity is intensifying, RBI Deputy Governor Poonam Gupta shared findings from a wide range of study on AI impact on employment and productivity. Let's listen in.
So recently, internally, we did a survey of the existing literature on the impact of AI on productivity and employment. So the range is quite wide. The range is not negative, actually, as of now. Certainly on the productivity side, good numbers to high numbers. On employment, while the evidence is, or even hypothetically, is difficult to talk about, but whatever surveys have been done, whether internationally or domestically in India, as of today, is showing a net positive effect. So with any technology, there is churning that happens. But net employment effect so far has been positive. The churning is that some people lose jobs and others gain. And so then the challenge lies in transitioning the skills and labor markets towards the faster growing segments. And the sense is that this is how it will play out.
We have Ankush Sabharwal, founder and CEO of Co-Rover AI and Tech, and Neeti Sharma, CEO of TeamLease Digital. In this discussion, we will try to find out that what is changing in the world of AI. Everyone says that AI is moving faster than any past technology. In your view, Neeti, what changed in last 12 to 18 months that made the impact feel so real and so sudden?
So, like everyone's calling out, the impact of efficiency and productivity is already being seen across roles. In the IT services sector specifically, we are seeing a lot of L1 and L2 jobs actually not being hired in volumes as they used to get done previously, which basically means that in over a period of time, L3 or basically a higher skilled role will become the new entry level or new L1 role. We are seeing that happen. So, which is really the downside of the impact of AI. But the upside of the whole change is that there are a lot many jobs that are getting created on data, security, cloud, AI, ML coding. Of course, the volumes don't offset. So the ones which are not being hired or being laid off are, much larger in numbers. But the ones that are getting hired with specific newer skill sets, niche skill sets, are much lesser in volumes, but they get paid a lot better than what conventional tech roles will ever get paid. So we're seeing this disruption happening. It's exciting because everyone is expected to implement AI and use AI in the workflows. We're also seeing about 25, 30, 40% of efficiency in coding, engineer cycles. So all of that is starting to get seen now, which was not happening a year ago.
Yeah.
So I think that's the first level change that we see.
Okay. So just to break it down for the viewers, when we say L1 and L2, this is basically the entry level roles.
That's right.
Yeah. So let me take it across to Ankush now. Basically, I would try to understand that what difference is there in the hiring pattern or in the productivity pattern, wherein the L3 roles are not getting impacted and L1 roles and L2 roles are getting impacted. I think there is some problem with the phone line of Ankush. Niti, I would like to take this question with you, that what is the basic reason hitting the L1 and L2 jobs more than the L3 jobs?
Yeah, so we all know that a lot of repetitive, redundant, or jobs where you can gauge progress, and predict outcomes. I think those are the ones that got impacted by AI almost immediately. What are not getting impacted, at least as of now, because the best model at the moment is a hybrid model. We keep hearing the term human in the loop phase. Engineers are performing better when AI is handling routine tasks, while the engineers or the humans in the loop are doing more work in terms of context, system design, engineering, accountability. So some roles which are better performed right now by thinking by humans are not getting impacted, but the repetitive redundant jobs or something which is more predictable in nature, those are getting impacted. A year ago the BPO jobs had got impacted in a big time. Now the coding jobs or the entry level software development jobs are getting impacted. We will see in the next few years, not just in IT, but let's say even in the legal segment, a lot of document reading, collation, assimilation of information. So the whole paralegal, job description that we have today, that will get redefined, because we will not need so many people to read documents or just write lines of code. We will, like, in the IT industry, we are saying, why don't we hire people who write better prompt libraries than, write software codes.
Yeah.
The whole definition of jobs is getting changed right now as we speak.
Yeah. So having said that, Niti, when you say that the jobs are getting impacted, is AI really going to take these jobs, or will it simply change how the jobs are done? Also, if you could explain it with a better example for our viewers, basically, an instance where AI replaced the work and an instance where it created new work.
Sure. So, yes, to your point, AI will take some jobs away, and this is not new. Whenever a new technology is introduced, there are some jobs that go away, but many more jobs get created. Right now, as we speak, the number of jobs going away versus the number of jobs getting created, the number of jobs getting created as lower than the number of jobs going away, and which is why there is fear and this whole thing about AI taking away jobs. The disruption is real, it's changing every single day. So, to give you a case in point, a lot of IT services companies used to hire manual testing engineers, which was really the entry level, first time job seekers, kids
Yeah.
coming out from engineering colleges and STEM
Yeah.
schools, right?
Yeah.
Now, those manual testing job has gone away.
Yeah.
Everything is automated in terms of testing, assessment, evaluation of the quality of code. Yes, of course, there is a lot of coding available out there, but
Yeah.
the basic level coding is going away completely.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, so this is on the tech side. Let me give you uh, another tangent. Let's say a digital marketing role. We had so many content writers who were writing content and distributing content in the digital world. Today, AI is able to help a lot of these content creators, so they don't spend hours and hours of content creation time. They actually use their intelligence in seeing what will work, what will not work for an end consumer. But the whole understanding, assimilation of data, analyzing data, all of that is getting done by AI. I mean, we don't need business analysts as many as we used to have previously in any job. So I think in every sector there are lots of use cases that we are seeing. It's also an upside because there are newer jobs getting created today. Like I called out in the areas of data, and data is not just one space. I mean, we're talking of data engineering, infrastructure, design, analysis, security, there's governance. So there's
Yeah.
so many
Yeah.
newer jobs getting created.
Yeah.
And I think in India it will only grow because we also heard in the last budget
Yeah.
that setting up data centers are getting tax holidays. So
Yeah.
till 47. So I think it will bring in a lot more jobs.
Yeah.
It's about a 12 to 18, 24 month disruption in the employment market as we see.
Yeah. So we have Ankush back and the connection is sorted now. Ankush, I would like to understand from you that when we say that the AI is going to impact the jobs, that's what I was discussing with Neeti so far. When we say AI is going to impact the jobs, the entry-level jobs, so what does the L1 and L2 candidates do in order to avert the situation, in order to prepare better in the current scenario?
Right. So I think, Aditya, I think this question is much, I think, asked, and everyone is trying to find their answers, and those answers are different for every sector, every geography, and every domain. So I think if so, L1, I think we are talking about probably L1 support, L2 support, and kind of L3. I think AI and tech, if we don't just consider them as, say, just one sector, and only the tech is going to be impacted. I think, as we know, everything is going to be impacted, but I think it's all the positive impact. So I assume when we're talking about L1, L2, any job, so the jobs can be in the field of, say, agriculture, in aviation, in travel, healthcare. So I think we would be just simply be better in every job. I think everyone at whatever stage of employment we are in,
Yeah.
we just have to be better in doing, and probably in this
Yeah.
case, we should use AI and see how we can be
Yeah,
better.
yeah. So that brings me to my next question to you, Ankush. That what are the new jobs and skills that are becoming valuable because of AI that did not exist 2, 3 years ago? So what are the new kind of opportunities now that exist in the market?
Yeah, so I think, yeah, so one is in every sector, how do we be better with AI? And the new sectors which you're talking about, of course, more specialized tech, I think more of AI. And I always see there are two roles which are now coming with AI. Apart from just using AI as enabler, just as core AI, there are two roles. One is to create AI platforms. Second is to create AI applications. Creating AI platform, yes, it needs deep engineering, research, and analytical and mathematical skills that is probably left to few techies probably like us. The second is creating AI applications. I think that is going to be democratized. So creation of AI application, as earlier which we used to do with programming languages, say C, C++, Java, or maybe Python. So now with natural language, we should be able to create AI applications. So I think this is something which we are in India, and I think if we have to leverage AI and take AI to our advantage, so we can become the AI developers for the world,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
I think that is something which is low hanging for us,
yeah,
and anyone, even if you're not engineers, can pick this role and try to create
yeah.
solutions across
Yeah.
sectors.
So, Niti, I would like to take it back to you. Now, as you said that AI is doing a lot of basic work at the entry level and hence the jobs are going to get impacted. So, where do these freshers learn now? And what do the young people do? Because AI is restricting their first break, their first job. So, what happens to this lot of workforce?
Yeah, so I would like to rephrase, what you said, Aditya, is that AI is not impacting their jobs. I think AI is redefining the skill sets that an entry level student will need to gather. Of course, our education systems, universities, engineering colleges, everyone is trying to do their best to keep the skill set at par with what the industry is looking for. But we don't have enough ready talent to deploy at an entry level or even at a lateral and a mid level. Primarily because this is a new technology, and I won't even call it a stack. This is something which is very, very new. Every day, something innovative is getting created by the AI first organization. So yes, so the institutions will have to do a lot of work in ensuring that these students pass out with basic knowledge of the let's say L2 or an L3 job or an AI enabled employment, because this is no job is actually going to be independent right now. All of
Yeah,
us will continue to use AI in some shape and form, and
yeah,
we all heard the past few weeks the
yeah,
five steps of AI. We're not bothered about the infrastructure. We're not bothered about the cloud. What we are
yeah,
bothered about is really the first two layers, which is the app, and the code writing and all those things.
yeah,
And that's where the highest volume of employment will kick in as well.
Correct.
So yes, AI will redefine the kind of people will need,
Yeah.
not really replace or disrupt saying, oh, I don't have jobs.
Okay.
Yes, it will be a short-term impact
Yeah.
that the volume of employment generation is going to be lesser than the volume of the layoffs or jobs not coming into the market.
Yeah.
But I think what we've seen this cycle with many technology stacks coming into the
Correct.
world, things will evolve.
Yeah.
We need to evolve. Just my view is that the disruption is happening much more faster than what it used to happen earlier.
Correct.
First, we saw every decade, then we saw every 5 years. Now we're practically seeing every few months.
Yeah.
So, as anyone who is wanting to stay relevant in the employment market or do anything of worth in today's day and age, we need to ensure that we are skilled enough to stay agile and adopt the
Yeah.
change that is happening very rapidly.
Okay. So you must be talking to many companies, Neeti. What are the companies doing about it? Are the companies redesigning or redefining how they train their employees or what all goes into the day-to-day work? What exactly is happening at the industry end?
Yeah. So it started about 12 to 18 months ago as pure AI awareness workshops. Every company kind of spend a lot of money in just creating awareness and also thinking at the board level of where can they use it, should they use AI. To start with productivity efficiency, but eventually we start thinking of reorganizing the way our teams will start looking. So I think all of that is on the drawing board for at the higher order level, at the board levels. But at the business levels, at the entry levels, it is about how do I keep as many people as possible skilled and relevant to today's and tomorrow's requirements. So yes, a lot of investments have happened on upskilling. A lot of lateral hires have happened with people who have some skill sets already present. And the third, and we've seen a lot of this middle level layoffs happening, which has primarily been for employees who have not either been able to upskill themselves or don't have relevant skill sets, or they're not agile or how do I call it, competent enough to grow along with the new world of work.
Yeah.
Like I guess that's the way, but yes, lots of investments happening on learning and development, on upskilling their existing workforce, because that is the first talent pool every company will dip into. They would not want
Yeah.
to just take these people off and bring people from outside
Correct.
because I don't think that's going to work.
Correct. Ankush, global capability centers are hiring thousands in India. So what is the skill they are looking at, and is the skill set in India currently at present when it comes to this hiring, this kind of a hiring pattern? Is the skill set in India adaptive or enough for what global capability centers are looking at right now?
Not really. I think the demand is more. Sometimes when I see the data is very very scary, right? I was just reading somewhere in India around 5.5% engineers are actually employable. So shocking, and only around 2.5% people kind of they know coding. And this is kind of high level numbers, and maybe depends upon the kind of sample has been taken. But the GCCs are of various natures, right? So they don't always look for techies. They also have their L1 L2 kind of support. So I think there is a need for kind of a job for various trades, and I think if it is about highly specialized track roles, it's very very difficult to find people in India. So I think one side we say it's unemployment, but many companies, not just the GCCs, and I think if you ask any tech company, they would have the same answer. It's not easy to find the right talent. So I think that gap is there, but I think now the kind of academia and industry which they are working together, because some colleges have even made their fourth year totally dedicated to their live projects working with the industry. So I think that the gap between the academia and the industry has to be reduced. And
Yeah.
yeah, besides the fundamental learning fundamentals, we also have to learn some specialized skills so that we are job ready
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah. So we'll continue this discussion. And as the debate rages, artificial intelligence poses growing concerns around copyright infringement because many models learn from vast disasters that may include copyrighted text, images, music, or videos without clear permission from creators. As AI systems generate content that can closely resemble or replicate original works, it becomes difficult to identify ownership, ensure fair compensation, or enforce existing copyright laws. Case in point being OpenAI accusing DeepSeek of distillation and Disney accusing ByteDance's Sirens 2.0 of infringing its iconic characters. What are the threats here and how to address them? Let's know this, let's understand this from our guests on the panel today. Niti, what are the kind of copyright infringements involved here, and how do one address these kind of infringements when it comes to the India INC level as well?
Yeah. From my perspective, and I would really call it from a skills, talent, and employment perspective, maybe the technology aspect, Aditya will be a better person to respond. But as I see, open AI or any AI platforms, a lot of them are open source, which means that capabilities are becoming modular. They are more technology driven. Models are being trained by, first by the companies who are creating them, but then a lot of users are continuing to train models with the data sets that are being inputted. So it's not difficult to, it's actually not difficult to copy or infringe what somebody already has built. It's also extremely tempting, given the fact that, let's say, an OpenAI in this case has made, tons and tons of dollars of investments in creating something which is unique and, which is their own. And then if somebody else is taking it over, saying, "Oh, I understand this, now let me just take it forward," obviously it's going to become a problem.
Yeah.
So yes, there are those issues. There are obviously the deep fake issues. We don't know today. When you look at digital content, you
Yeah.
don't know what is AI driven and what is not, and what is
Yeah.
real,
Yeah.
which is scary
Yeah.
to some extent, but it also will continuously threaten the data sets, the copyrights, or
Yeah.
everything that we are living and breathing with, right?
Yeah.
So I think guardrails are difficult to enforce right now, specifically because we work in an open source environment.
Yeah.
And unless and until we have governance policies at country levels, at state levels, at institution levels, this is going to continue becoming a bigger problem.
Yeah. So, Ankush, taking the same question to you and trying to understand that basically what are the kind of problems with these kind of infringements of copyright when it comes to AI?
See, I always kind of worried, questioning, and believed so that the way these models are being created by just using publicly available data is not right, right? So whether it's illegal, ethical, I think that is being deliberated, but publicly available data doesn't mean I just use it and create something and sell it, right? So even if the book is publicly available, yes, you buy a book, you read it for it's just to read, but I cannot rephrase and publish something new, right? So and you'll be glad to know, I think India is the first country who is coming up with a draft policy of this copyright. DP, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, the DPIIT has come up with a draft where all the publishers, the content providers would be fairly compensated if the data is used in the large language model. Currently, I think the base is the fundamental is not strong. Yes, we have done technical innovation, we have done functional innovation, but at the cost of someone else creativity and data.
Yeah.
Right. So day one, I'm coming up saying, "Hey, I have GPUs. I have now open source algorithms.
Yeah.
I scrap the data of internet, some other publishers, writers, and then create the model."
Yeah.
So that's not right. It's something new.
Yeah.
I think things are being deliberated, and India is taking lead to fairly compensate the publishers. I hope the whole world would follow this route.
Yeah. So that's the understanding that we are gathering out of this discussion, that number one, L1 and L2 jobs are going to get impacted in a certain way, but there are ways to avert it. There are ways to have new learnings, have new training and avert that. And when it comes to open data sources like open data sources and their usage, there is some law to it, and there is a level of check that needs to be put across. So that was it on this debate. Thank you, Neeti and Ankush, for joining us. And that brings us to the end of this special broadcast on how artificial intelligence is reshaping India's job landscape. Starting next week, New Delhi will host AI Impact Summit, and the scale is already massive. According to sources, more than 2.5 lakh registrations have come so far, and we are told that the summit may see a participation from 20 heads of states and nearly 40 ministers, over 100 country delegations, along with 100 global CEOs and as many as 500 top AI experts. NDTV Profit will bring you every major update, every policy signal, and every big voice from this summit as India positions itself not just to adapt to AI, but to lead it. Thanks for watching. I am Aditya Rao signing off, but stay tuned for more news and updates.